Lisa Morgan walked through the long metal corridors of Kepler's Rest space station. Her black diplomatic uniform felt heavy on her shoulders. The space station was huge, bigger than any city on Earth. It floated in empty space between 3 different star systems. This was where all the alien races came to talk and make deals. Captain Jake Collins walked beside her. He was her military aide and bodyguard. His hand stayed close to his weapon, even though fighting was not allowed on the station. Jake did not trust aliens. He had good reasons not to trust them. Remember what we talked about? Lisa said quietly. We need this mining deal. Earth needs those metals to build more ships. Jake nodded. I know, but these Zephyrians think they own half the galaxy. They look down on us because we are new here. They entered the main meeting room. It was circular. With a high ceiling, representatives from 12 different alien species sat around a huge table. The humans had only 2 seats. Every other race had at least 4 seats. This showed how little power Earth had in the galactic community. Commander Veltar of the Zephyrian Empire stood as they entered. He was tall and thin with gray skin and 4 arms. His species had been traveling between stars for over 2,000 years. They controlled 47 star systems and had the second largest fleet in the galaxy. Ah, the humans arrive, Veltar said. His voice was cold and mocking. I was beginning to think your primitive ships had broken down again. Lisa kept her face calm. She had been an ambassador for 10 years. She knew how to handle insults. Good morning, Commander. We are ready to discuss the mining rights in the Proxima sector. They all sat down. The meeting room fell quiet. Lisa opened her datapad and read from her prepared statement. Earth requests permission to mine asteroids in the outer Proxima system. We will pay the standard galactic tax rate. We will follow all environmental protection rules. We will not interfere with any existing claims. She finished reading and looked up. Commander Veltar was smiling. It was not a friendly smile. I am afraid there has been a change, Veltar said. The Zephyrian Empire now claims the entire Proxima sector. This includes your little mining colony on Proxima 4. Lisa felt her heart skip a beat. Proxima 4 had 3,000 human colonists. They had been living there for 8 years. They'd built homes, farms, and schools. It was legally human territory under galactic law. Commander, that colony is recognized human territory, Lisa said carefully. It was approved by this council in 2387. We have all the proper documents. Veltar waved one of his 4 hands. Documents can be changed. Laws can be rewritten. The Zephyrian Empire has decided that sector contains resources we need. Your people have 30 days to leave. Jake started to stand up, but Lisa put her hand on his arm. She needed to stay diplomatic. Starting a fight here would make things worse. That colony has 3,000 citizens, Lisa said. They cannot just pack up and leave in 30 days. Their entire lives are there, and perhaps you should have thought about that before settling in Zephyrian space, Veltar replied. The other alien representatives watched silently. Some looked uncomfortable, but none spoke up. Zephyrians were too powerful. No one wanted to make them angry. Lisa tried again. What if we increased the tax rate? Or offered a partnership in the mining operation? Surely we can find a solution. That works for everyone. Commander Veltar laughed. It was a harsh sound. You humans still do not understand how things work out here. You have been in space for only 50 years. You have a tiny fleet and weak technology. You are in no position to negotiate. He leaned forward in his chair. His dark eyes stared directly at Lisa. Here's what will happen. Your colonists will leave Proxima 4. We will take control of the mining operation. If you refuse, our fleet will remove them by force. Trust me, you do not want that to happen. Lisa felt anger building inside her chest. But she kept her voice steady. Commander, I strongly advise against threatening human civilians. My government takes the protection of our citizens very seriously. Veltar laughed again. Oh. You do? Send your little patrol boats to fight our battle cruisers? We have studied your military. Your entire fleet could not defeat one of our squadrons. Jake's hand moved toward his weapon again. Lisa grabbed his wrist under the table. We prefer peaceful solutions, Lisa said. But every human knows their history. We know what happens when peaceful people are pushed too far. History, Veltar stood up, his forearms spread wide. Your history is full of primitive tribes fighting with metal sticks. You barely learned to fly between planets before we found you. Do not threaten the Zephyrian Empire with your ancient wars. The room was completely silent now. Even the other aliens seemed shocked by Veltar's words. Lisa stood up slowly. Her voice was quiet but clear. Commander, you are making a serious mistake. You clearly have not studied human history very carefully. Yes, we fought wars. We fought them for thousands of years. We got very good at it. She picked up her datapad and walked toward the door. Jake followed her. You have 30 days, Veltar called after them. We will take what we want. Lisa stopped at the door. She turned back to face the commander. We will not abandon our people, she said. And Commander, after today, you might want to actually read some human history books. Start with the chapter about what happens when someone attacks our families. She walked out of the room. Jake was right behind her. As they walked down the corridor, Jake whispered, That went well. Lisa was already thinking about their next move. Get me a secure channel to Earth. High priority. The president needs to know what just happened. You think they will really attack? Jake asked. Lisa nodded grimly. Veltar thinks we are weak because we are new. He has no idea what he just started. Behind them, in the meeting room, Commander, Veltar was already planning his easy victory. He had never lost a battle. He had never met an enemy that could match Zephyrian technology. He had never fought humans before. President Amanda Foster sat in the war room, deep under the White House. The room had no windows. Thick concrete walls kept it safe from any attack. Around the large table sat the most important military leaders on Earth. Admiral Kevin Ross spread out star charts on the digital display. Red dots showed Zephyrian ships. Blue dots showed human vessels. There were a lot more red dots than blue ones. Situation is not good, Admiral Ross said. They have 3 battle groups in the Proxima sector. It's about 60 ships total. We have 12 patrol vessels in that area. General Paul Martinez leaned forward, commanded all Earth's ground forces. What about their technology? Do our weapons compare? Their energy shields are stronger than ours, the Admiral replied. Our main guns have longer range. Ship for ship, they outclass us in almost every category. President Foster looked tired. She had been in office for 6 years. This was the first real military crisis of her presidency. So you are telling me we cannot protect our own people? She asked. Dr. Emma Watson cleared her throat. She was the head of the Strategic Defense Institute. She was also the smartest person in the room. Madam President, I think we are looking at this wrong, she said. Yes, their ships are more advanced, but there is something else to consider. She stood up and activated a different display. It showed communication records from across the galaxy. I have been studying galactic conflicts for the past 5 years. The Zephyrians have fought 17 wars in the last century. Do you know how long the average galactic war lasts? Nobody answered. 3 weeks, Dr. Watson continued. Most galactic conflicts end when one side shows superior technology. The weaker side surrenders quickly to avoid damage. Death counts are usually very low. What does that have to do with us? General Martinez asked. Dr. Watson smiled. It was not a happy smile. It means they have never fought a real war. They've never faced an enemy that refuses to quit. They have never seen what humans do when they are truly angry. She changed the display again. Now it showed Earth's military academies and training centers. Every human officer studies military history, going back thousands of years. We learn about the Spartans at Thermopylae. We study the siege of Stalingrad. We analyze the D-Day landings and the Battle of Midway. Our entire military culture is built on the idea that some things are worth dying for. The room was quiet. Everyone understood what she meant. President Foster spoke first. Dr. Watson, are you suggesting we can actually win this? I am suggesting. They have no idea what they are getting into, Dr. Watson replied. They think this will be like their other wars. Show up with superior firepower, demand surrender, go home. They have never fought humans before. Captain Nicole Brown from Military Intelligence spoke up. She had been quiet during the meeting. "I have been analyzing Zephyrian battle tactics," she said. "They are very predictable. They rely on overwhelming force and advanced technology. They do not adapt well when the enemy does something unexpected." She activated her own display, showed recordings of Zephyrian fleet movements. "Look at this pattern. They always attack from the same formation. They always target the largest enemy ships first. They always expect their enemies to retreat. When faced with superior numbers..." Admiral Ross studied the patterns. "You think we can use this against them?" "I think we can confuse them," Captain Brown replied. "They have never faced guerrilla tactics. They have never dealt with an enemy that attacks supply lines instead of ships. They have never fought someone who uses their own size against them." General Martinez was getting excited. It's like David and Goliath. "Use speed and intelligence instead of brute force." President Foster held up her hand. "Hold on. Before we start planning military operations, I need to know something. Can we actually protect Proxima 4? Can we save those colonists?" Admiral Ross thought for a moment. "If we fight the way they expect us to fight, we will lose badly. Our colonists will be captured or killed. But if we fight the way Dr. Watson and Captain Brown are suggesting, then we have a chance," the president finished. Dr. Watson pulled up another display, and this one showed human colonies throughout space. "There's something else to consider," she said. "Commander Veltar mentioned other human worlds they want to claim. This is not just about Proxima 4. They are testing us. If we back down now, they will keep taking our colonies until we have nothing left." The room fell silent again. Everyone knew she was right. President Foster stood up. "Admiral Ross, I want you to begin quiet preparations for military action. Do not make it obvious. We need to look like we are panicking, not preparing." "Yes, Madam President." "General Martinez, start moving equipment and supplies to our border colonies. Make it look like we are preparing to evacuate, not defend." "Understood, Captain." "Brown, I want detailed intelligence on every Zephyrian ship, base, and supply route within 50 light-years of human space. I want to know their weaknesses. I will get started immediately." She turned to Dr. Watson. "Doctor, I need you to prepare a presentation for the Joint Chiefs. I want them to understand exactly what we are dealing with, and I want contingency plans for different levels of conflict." Dr. Watson nodded. "How far are we prepared to go?" President Foster looked around the room. Her voice was cold and determined. "They threaten to attack human families. They think we are weak because we are new to space. They are about to learn that being new does not mean being helpless." She walked toward the door, then stopped. "One more thing. This information does not leave this room, as far as anyone else knows. We are trying to find a diplomatic solution. Let the Zephyrians think they have scared us. Let them believe their own propaganda about human weakness." Admiral Ross smiled for the first time all day. "You want them overconfident when they attack. I want them to walk into a trap they never saw coming," the president replied. After she left, the military leaders looked at each other. They all had the same thought. The Zephyrians had made a serious mistake. They had threatened human families and expected humans to run away scared. We're about to discover that humans do not run. They fight back. And when humans fight back, they fight to win. Captain Ryan Murphy stood on the bridge of the HSV Defiance. Through the main window, he could see the planet Proxima spinning slowly below. It looked peaceful from space, green and blue with white clouds. It was hard to believe that 3,000 human families lived down there, not knowing that alien warships were coming to take their home away. "Captain, we have incoming ships," called Lieutenant Ben Carter from the sensor station. 15 vessels, Zephyrian design. It will be here in 6 hours. Ryan nodded. He had been expecting this. The 30-day deadline had passed yesterday. Commander Veltar was coming to make good on his threat. "Any word from the colony?" Ryan asked. "Governor Lisa Parker reports that evacuation to the underground shelters is complete," Lieutenant Carter replied. "All civilians are safe for now." Ryan smiled grimly. The colonists were not running away like the Zephyrians expected. They were hiding and waiting, just like Earth Command had ordered. The Defiance was not a big ship. It was a patrol vessel with a crew of 42. against 15 Zephyrian warships. It should have been hopeless. But Ryan had been studying the enemy for weeks. He had a plan. Communications, send a message to the approaching fleet, Ryan ordered. Channel open, sir. Zephyrian vessels, this is Captain Ryan Murphy of the Human Space Navy. You are approaching sovereign human territory. Please state your intentions. The reply came quickly. Commander Veltar's voice was full of confidence and mockery. Captain Murphy, I am Commander Veltar of the Zephyrian Empire. We have come to take possession of this system. Your illegal colony has 30 minutes to surrender. After that, we will remove them by force. Ryan looked around his bridge. His crew was ready. They had trained for this moment for months. Commander Veltar, I must respectfully decline your demand. These people are under the protection of Earth. We will not abandon them. Veltar laughed over the communication channel. Captain, you have one small ship. I have 15 battle cruisers. Do you really want to die for these colonists, Commander? You clearly have not studied human history very well, Ryan replied. We have a saying on Earth. Nobody fights harder than someone defending their home. He cut the communication and turned to his crew. All hands, battle stations. This is not a drill. The bridge filled with the sound of alarms and running feet. Weapon systems came online, shields powered up. The small ship prepared to face impossible odds. 6 hours later, the Zephyrian fleet arrived. Veltar's flagship was massive. It was 3 times longer than the Defiance and bristled with weapons. The other ships spread out in a perfect formation, surrounding the human vessel. Captain Murphy, this is your last chance, Veltar broadcast. Surrender now, and we will allow you to evacuate your people safely. Ryan stood up from his captain's chair. All crew, remember your training. We are not trying to destroy their fleet. We are buying time and sending a message. He opened the communication channel. Commander Veltar, I have a message for you from Earth. We do not surrender. We do not abandon our people, and we do not back down from bullies. The first shot came from Veltar's flagship. It was meant to be a warning shot, aimed at the Defiance's shields. But Ryan had been waiting for exactly this moment. Evasive maneuvers, he ordered. Return fire, all weapons. The Defiance spun away from the incoming blast with speed that surprised the Zephyrians. Human ships were built smaller and faster than alien vessels. They could turn and accelerate much quicker. The human ship's weapons fired back. The shots were perfectly aimed. They hit the Zephyrian flagship's shield generators, causing bright explosions across its hull. His bridge, how did they target our weak points so precisely? His tactical officer looked confused. Sir, they seem to know exactly where to hit us. Our shields are down to 70% from just one attack. On the Defiance, Lieutenant Carter was smiling. Direct hits, Captain. Their shields are weakening. Good shooting. Now let's show them what human tactics look like. The small human ship darted between the larger Zephyrian vessels, like a fighter plane dodging through clouds. Every time the aliens tried to target it, the Defiance was already somewhere else. And every time it fired back, the shots hit exactly where they would do the most damage. This was not how space battles were supposed to work. In every Zephyrian war, ships lined up and traded shots until one side's shields failed. The stronger technology won. But the humans were not following those rules. Sir, the human ship is targeting our communication arrays, reported Veltar's tactical officer. We are losing contact with 3 of our vessels, then destroy it, Veltar ordered. All ships, concentrate fire on that pest. But concentrating. Fire was easier said than done. The Defiance moved like it was alive. It seemed to know where the Zephyrian shots would be before they were fired. Then something happened that made Veltar's blood run cold. More human ships appeared on his sensors. A lot more. Sir, we have incoming human vessels, his sensor officer reported. 12 ships, approaching fast. 12 ships. Veltar could not believe it. Intelligence reports said humans only had a few patrol boats in this sector. The new human ships were different from the Defiance. These were military vessels built for war. They moved in perfect formation. Like a pack of wolves surrounding prey, Commander. Lisa Parker's voice came over the communication channel. She was aboard the lead human warship. Commander Veltar, this is Commander Lisa Parker of the Human Defense Force. You have attacked our people and our ships. This is an act of war. Veltar tried to maintain his confidence. Commander Parker, you are still outnumbered. I have 15 ships to your 13, Commander. You are making the same mistake everyone makes about humans, Lisa replied. You think this is about numbers. You think this is about who has the bigger guns? The human ships opened fire all at once. They were not aiming at the Zephyrian ships. They were targeting empty space around the alien fleet. What are they doing? Veltar demanded. Then he understood. The humans had fired some kind of electronic warfare devices. Suddenly, his sensors were filled with false readings. His communication systems were jammed. His targeting computers could not lock on to the human ships. Sir, we are blind, his tactical officer reported. I cannot target anything. In the chaos that followed, the human ships attacked like ghosts. They appeared out of nowhere, fired precisely targeted shots, then disappeared again. The Zephyrian fleet, designed to fight in organized formations, fell apart when they could not see or communicate with each other. Sir, the cruiser Velkin is requesting permission to retreat, came a garbled message. They have lost shields and weapons. Sir, the destroyer Zephyr is reporting critical damage to their engines. Sir, we are taking heavy fire from multiple directions. Veltar realized with growing horror that he was losing. His superior technology meant nothing when he could not use it properly. These humans fought like demons, using tactics he had never seen before. All ships, retreat to safe distance, he ordered. We will regroup and plan our next attack. But as his damaged fleet limped away from Proxima 4, Veltar knew something had changed. The humans had not just defended their colony, they had humiliated the mighty Zephyrian Empire. And somehow, he suspected this was only the beginning. The news of the battle at Proxima 4 spread through human space like wildfire. Every colony, every space station, every human ship received the same message. The Zephyrians had attacked human civilians. They had threatened human families. War had begun. Admiral Kevin Ross stood in the command center on Earth's largest space station. Round him, dozens of officers worked at computer screens. The room buzzed with activity. Ships were moving. Weapons were being loaded. Soldiers were preparing for battle. Admiral, we have confirmation from all sectors, reported Captain Nicole Brown. The fleet is ready for Operation Homecoming. Admiral Ross nodded. Operation Homecoming was humanity's response to the Zephyrian threat. This was not what anyone expected. President Amanda Foster appeared on the main screen. She was addressing the United Earth Council, but her words were being broadcast to every human world. My fellow humans, she began. Today an alien empire attacked our people. They thought we would be afraid. They thought we would surrender our colonies and beg for mercy. They were wrong. The president's voice was calm, but her eyes were hard. As steel, the Zephyrian Empire has made a serious mistake. They have forgotten that humans have been fighting for thousands of years. They have forgotten that we do not abandon our own. They have forgotten that when you threaten human families, you wake something dangerous. She paused, looking directly into the camera. To every human listening to this message, I want you to know that your government will never abandon you. We'll never let aliens take your homes. We'll never let bullies push us around. We are going to show the galaxy what happens when you anger humans. The broadcast ended. Admiral Ross turned to his staff. Gentlemen, ladies, you know your orders. This is not going to be the kind of war they expect. You're not going to line up our ships and have a fair fight. We're going to fight smart. We are going to fight dirty. We are going to win. Major Tim Brooks was already in position near the Zephyrian border. His ship, the HSV Wolverine, was hidden behind an asteroid field. With him were 5 other human vessels, all specially equipped for what came next. Major, we have confirmation, his communications officer reported. Zephyrian supply convoy approaching on schedule. Tim smiled. The aliens were so predictable. Every 3 days, they sent supply ships from their main base to their forward positions. It's the same route, it's the same time, it's the same escort ships, All units prepare for intercept. Remember, we are not here to destroy everything. We want to send a message. The Zephyrian convoy consisted of 12 cargo ships and 6 escort fighters. They were carrying food, fuel, and ammunition to Zephyrian forces near human space. Without these supplies, those forces could not operate. The human ships attacked from 3 different directions at once. The Zephyrian escorts were caught completely off guard. Their formation fell apart as human fighters swept through like hawks attacking pigeons. Zephyrian convoy. This is Major Tim Brooks of the Human Space Navy. Tim broadcast on all frequencies. You have entered a war zone. Surrender your cargo ships, and we will allow your crews to escape in life pods. The Zephyrian convoy commander tried to fight back, but it was hopeless. The human ships moved too fast and hit too hard. Within 20 minutes, all 6 escort ships were disabled or destroyed. The cargo ships were defenseless. Major, the cargo ships are surrendering, reported his tactical officer. Good. Take what we need and destroy the rest. Make sure the life pods get clear first. This scene was repeated across 12 different star systems. Human strike teams hit Zephyrian supply lines, communication stations, and fuel depots. Avoided the main alien fleets, instead targeting everything those fleets needed to survive. Dr. Sarah Mitchell sat in her office at Earth Intelligence Command. Her screens showed reports from across the war zone. Every few hours, another Zephyrian facility went dark. We have confirmation on Target 7, her assistant reported. Captain Greg Adams successfully destroyed the communication relay. At Kepler Station, Zephyrian forces in that sector are now cut off from their command. Sarah nodded and marked another target on her map. The red dots representing Zephyrian strength were starting to fade. What about their response? She asked. That is the interesting part, ma'am. They are not responding the way we expected. Their fleets are moving toward our colonies, trying to force us into direct battles. But they are leaving their supply lines undefended. Sarah smiled. They still do not understand how we fight. They think this is about honor and fair combat. They have no idea this is about survival. In space near the Zephyrian stronghold of Zarian Prime, Commander Veltar was learning exactly what Sarah meant. His fleet had been trying to hunt down human raiders for 2 weeks. Every time he thought he had them cornered, they disappeared. Every time he moved his ships to protect one target, the humans hit 3 others. Sir, we have lost contact with Supply Base 7, his communications officer reported. Also Fuel Station Gamma and the repair facility at Vexler. Veltar slammed his fist on his command chair. How are they doing this? We have superior numbers and technology. We should be winning easily. His tactical officer looked uncomfortable, sir. I have been studying their attack patterns. They are not trying to defeat our fleets directly. Are trying to starve us out. What do you mean? They are attacking our logistics, sir. Food, fuel, ammunition, repairs. It's everything our ships need to keep fighting. If this continues, we will have to withdraw our fleets or watch them fall apart from lack of supplies. Veltar was beginning to understand the nightmare he had created. These humans did not fight like civilized species. They fought like the barbarians, from their own ancient history. Sir, incoming message from the Krillian Empire, his communications officer announced. They are offering military assistance. Veltar felt relief wash over him. The Krillians were even more powerful than the Zephyrians. With their help, he could crush these troublesome humans quickly. Put them through. Admiral Krexter of the Krillian Empire appeared on the screen. He was a massive creature with armored skin and multiple eyes. Commander Veltar, we have been monitoring your conflict with the humans. We are prepared to send 3 battle groups to assist you. Thank you, Admiral. With your help, we can end this war quickly. Admiral Krexter paused. Commander, are you certain you understand what you are fighting? We have analyzed human military history. These are not like other species we have encountered. They're primitives with a few lucky victories, Veltar replied. Nothing we cannot handle with superior firepower. I hope you are right, Admiral, Krexter said. Because once we commit to this war, the humans will consider us enemies as well. and everything I have read about humans suggests that being their enemy is a very dangerous thing to be. But Veltar was not listening. He was already planning his counterattack. With Krillian reinforcements, he would have over 100 warships. No human force could stand against such power. He had no idea that. Captain Nicole Brown was already intercepting his communications. She knew about the Krillian alliance. She knew about their battle plans. She was preparing humanity's response. The war was about to get much bigger, much deadlier. On Earth, President Foster received the intelligence report with grim satisfaction. The aliens were finally taking humans seriously. But they were also making the conflict larger than anyone had planned. Madam President, Admiral Ross said over the secure channel, the Krillians are mobilizing their fleet. This changes everything. Yes, it does, the President replied. It means we need to end this war quickly before half the galaxy gets involved. Are our people ready for the final phase? Yes, ma'am. Operation Checkmate is ready to launch. President Foster looked out at the stars through her office window. Somewhere out there, human soldiers and sailors were preparing for the biggest battle in their species' history. Then let's show the galaxy what humans are really capable of, she said. Admiral Kevin Ross stood on the bridge of the HSV Liberty, humanity's newest and largest warship. Around him, the combined human fleet waited in the darkness of space. 150 ships, every vessel Earth could gather for this final battle. Through the main window, he could see Zephoria Prime, the alien homeworld. It was a beautiful planet, covered in purple oceans and silver cities. 3 billion Zephorians lived on that world. They had no idea that human ships were approaching. Admiral, all ships report ready, Captain Nicole Brown announced. Operation Checkmate is go. Admiral Ross nodded. This was the moment that would decide everything. Either humanity would win this war decisively, or they would be destroyed trying. On the planet below, Commander Veltar sat in his command center. His remaining fleet was spread around the homeworld, waiting for the human attack they knew was coming. He had 120 ships, plus 50 Krillian vessels that had arrived 3 days earlier. Sir, our sensors are detecting movement in the outer system, his tactical officer reported. Multiple contacts approaching. Veltar smiled, coldly. Finally, the humans have come to us. Now we can end this war properly. But as the human fleet came into view, Veltar realized something was wrong. The human ships were not attacking. They were just sitting there, just outside. Weapon. Range. Sir, incoming transmission from the human fleet, his communications officer announced. Put it through. Admiral Ross appeared on the screen. He looked calm and confident, like a man who held all the winning cards. Commander Veltar, I am Admiral Kevin Ross of the Human Space Navy. I am here to offer you terms for surrender. Veltar laughed out loud. Admiral, you are outnumbered. I have 170 ships to your 150. You are in no position to demand anything. Commander, I think you misunderstand the situation, Admiral Ross replied. Look at your sensor readings more carefully. Veltar frowned and checked his displays. The human fleet was indeed smaller than his combined forces. But something was strange about their formation. They were spread out in a way that made no tactical sense. Admiral, your formation is terrible, Veltar said. Any military academy student could defeat you with proper tactics. You are probably right, Admiral. Ross agreed. But you see, Commander, we are not here to fight your fleet. We're here to demonstrate something. Suddenly, space around Zephoria Prime lit up with explosions. But they were not weapon explosions. Broadcasting devices. Broadcasting. On every frequency, the Zephorians used. Citizens of Zephoria Prime, Admiral Ross's voice echoed across the planet. This is Admiral Ross of the Human Space Navy. Your government has attacked our people and started a war. But we are not here to harm civilians. On the planet's surface, billions of Zephorians stopped what they were doing to listen. We want you to know that your fleet cannot protect you, the Admiral continued. In the past month, we have destroyed 60% of your military supply bases. We have captured 47 of your cargo ships. We have disabled 37 of your communication stations. Veltar's face went pale. Every word was true. Your government started this war because they thought humans were weak, Admiral Ross broadcast. They thought we would run away when threatened. They were wrong. But we are not here for revenge. We are here to end this war before more people die. On his ship, Admiral Ross turned to Captain Brown. Are people in position? Yes, sir. All infiltration teams report ready. Admiral Ross nodded and continued his broadcast. Commander Veltar, you have 1 hour to surrender. If you refuse, we will show you what human military planning really looks like. Veltar cut off the transmission and turned to his tactical officer. What is he talking about? What infiltration teams? Before anyone could answer, alarms started going off all over the command center. Red lights flashed. Emergency sirens wailed. Sir, we have explosions throughout the fleet, his damage control officer reported. Multiple ships are reporting critical system failures. What kind of explosions? Internal, sir? Someone has sabotaged our ships from the inside. Veltar felt ice water run through his veins. How is that possible? Captain Nicole Brown smiled as she watched the Zephyrian fleet fall apart. For 3 weeks, human infiltration teams had been sneaking aboard alien ships during supply runs. They had planted small devices throughout the enemy fleet. Not bombs, but electronic warfare packages that could disable engines, weapons, and life support systems. Admiral, 53 enemy ships are now dead in space, she reported. Their crews are abandoning ship. Admiral Ross opened the communication channel again. Commander Veltar, as you can see, we have been planning this for quite some time. Your remaining ships are outnumbered and outmaneuvered. More importantly, they are surrounded. On Veltar's screen, new contacts appeared on the sensors. Human ships were rising from behind the planet's moons, emerging from asteroid fields, uncloaking from stealth positions. The human fleet was not 150 ships. It was over 300. Impossible, Veltar whispered. Dot. You hide so many ships? Commander, you keep making the same mistake, Admiral Ross replied. Think like someone who has never fought a real war? You expect enemies to be honorable and predictable. Humans learned long ago that the only rule in war is to win. Admiral Krexter of the Krillian Empire appeared on a separate channel. His massive face looked worried. Commander Veltar, my ships are also experiencing system failures. How did the humans get aboard our vessels? The same way we got aboard yours, Admiral, Admiral Ross answered. We studied your supply procedures. We learned your security protocols. We put people inside your crews months ago. You never bothered to check if all your new recruits were actually Krillian. Veltar realized with growing horror that the humans had been planning this from the very beginning. Every battle, every raid, every attack had been designed to gather intelligence and position human forces for this moment. Admiral Ross Veltar said quietly, What are your terms? Complete withdrawal from human space. Reparations for the damage you caused to Proxima 4. A formal apology to the galactic community. It's a promise that neither the Zephyrian Empire nor the Krillian Empire will ever threaten human civilians again. And if we refuse... Admiral Ross was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was cold as space itself. Commander, right now your homeworld is defenseless. Your fleet is crippled. Your allies are defeated. But we are not going to bombard your cities or enslave your people. Do you know why? Veltar shook his head. Because we are not like you. We do not make war on civilians. We do not destroy entire species. We fight to protect our own and to ensure peace. But make no mistake, Commander. If you continue this war, if you threaten human families again, you will discover that human mercy has limits. Veltar looked around his command center. Half his fleet was disabled. The other half was surrounded by superior human forces. His homeworld was defenseless. He had no choice. I accept your terms, he said quietly. 6 months later, Commander Veltar sat in a small office on Kepler's Rest space station. He was no longer a military commander. Now he was a cultural attache, studying human history and military tactics for the Zephyrian government. The books on his desk told stories that made his blood run cold. Humans fighting wars that lasted years, battles where millions died, entire civilizations rising and falling through conflict. And through it all, humans learning, adapting, becoming better at the one thing they had practiced for thousands of years. He picked up his datapad and began writing his final report to the Zephyrian High Command.
To the Military Council of Zephyria.
After 6 months of study, I have reached an important conclusion about the species we recently fought. Humans are not like other galactic races. They do not fight for territory or resources. They fight for ideas, for families, for principles they believe in. He paused, thinking about everything he had learned. They have spent their entire history at war, not because they love fighting, but because they were willing to fight for what mattered to them. They developed strategies and tactics that other species never needed to learn. When we threatened their people, we awakened something that had been sleeping, not something that was weak. Veltar finished his report with words that would become famous throughout the galaxy. Recommendation to all Zephyrian forces: we will never anger the humans again. The galaxy is not ready for what they become when threatened. They showed us mercy when they could have shown us destruction. We must never forget this lesson. He transmitted the report and sat back in his chair. Through his window, he could see human ships docking at the station, humans and aliens working together, trading, talking, learning from each other. The war was over. Peace had been won. And throughout the galaxy, every species now understood one simple truth about humanity. It was much safer to be their friend than their enemy.